This has been a fantastic rivalry between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, and you could tell tonight tempers were hot, and this was a fantastic basketball game until Denver finally pulled away midway through the fourth quarter. And the final score here at Target Center, 123-112. The Nuggets win it over the Timberwolves. Denver's now 2-0 this season over Minnesota. Welcome to Wolves Live with Tom Crean. I'm Marnie Gellner. This game was tied 92-92 with 9.5 minutes to go. And then Denver just started pushing and pushing. Wolves couldn't get stops, and there you have it.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought at the end of the third when Anthony Edwards had the and one, the layup, and Julius Randle gets the steal, I thought we had momentum, and we just couldn't keep it. And credit the Nuggets because they found the openings, they found the gaps, they beat some double teams, had some cuts. They put in great effort, and it wasn't that we weren't. They just were more efficient right there. And I thought when Jokic made that pass to Peyton Watson for the dunk and they went up 10, we never got the momentum back.
Jokic was a playmaker in this game. Jokic was also a deep ball threat. At one point, he had taken 10 total shots in the game, and 5 of them were from three. He and Aaron Gordon were deadly from deep.
Well, Aaron Gordon, that three we saw over Dante was just, it didn't matter who was guarding him. But Aaron Gordon's averaging over 5 threes a game. He's improved his range. But Jokic likes to step outside, especially against Rudy. And he just kept floating and moving around. But Murray, the way they were getting to the basket and the way Jamal Murray was able to drive it right and left, he really controlled the game. He was the key in the second quarter. And he continued to play not quite as demanding as he was in the second, but still really good. But Jokic and Aaron Gordon were tough. And Tim Hardaway Jr.,
yes.
Man, he was good tonight.
Tim Hardaway Jr. has been a problem for the Timberwolves in the past. He had 20 points 3 weeks ago when the Nuggets won the game here. And the fourth quarter, again, was just Denver's time to shine. And Denver has been a very good fourth quarter team this season and continued to be here tonight in this win. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have audio issues. I can't tell you what Mike Mee, our producer, is asking me to go to for the next highlight package. So go ahead and roll the highlight package.
I've got it. We're going to the Wolves right now. Here we go. They were hanging in there, Marnie. They were doing a good job. Look at this. I love when Anthony turns the corner, going with his left hand. That was a great drive. He got separation. Here he sets it up. Great attack, splitting the defense. You want to take Jokic on as much as you can as the second defender. This was a huge play. Julius Randle getting this steal, taking it to the rim, Marnie. That was fantastic. Anthony driving it, eyes up, getting to the basket. It started to feel like things were going to go our way. We were getting momentum. Loved the drive, but we just didn't have enough of it in the late fourth.
Well, momentum is a big thing, and it's true in a lot of sports. It was true in this game here tonight because, again, tie game, 9.5 minutes to go, and then it ended up being a little more one-sided. Just a lot of big plays, a lot of big playmakers, and a lot of emotion in this game. The history between the Wolves and the Nuggets, especially over the last handful of years, has been significant. Remember Game 7 in Denver, Wolves down 20, and they come back to win it. You can see some of that carry over. Jonas Valanciunas wasn't necessarily a part of that history, but Denver, Minnesota brings out emotion.
Absolutely. Naz Reid was a part of that, though.
Yeah,
he knows.
was.
He's not backing down. Now, this was a very physical game. That's what happens when these teams meet. And again, Tim Hardaway Jr., he's never going to shy away from confrontations inside a game. But that's what makes rivalries great. Remember, the Nuggets were the champions, and all of a sudden, here comes Minnesota.
Yep. And both of these teams are going to be able to contend for a championship this year. These teams are two of the best in the West, and we saw a good one here tonight. Denver ends up winning it 123-112, the final score from Target Center. More of our post-game coverage on Wolves Live after this. 4-game winning streak came to an end tonight. Denver has now won 7 in a row. Here's our Menard game summary with the Nuggets winning 123-112 over the Timberwolves. And Tom, it was a good game throughout. And then Denver had a little bit more in the tank halfway through the fourth quarter, kind of brought it home.
Well, they really did. And again, they took over this game at 92-92. And again, we said it at the end of the third. You think, okay, Minnesota's going to do what they did last night. They're going to take the fourth. But it was the big three, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Was just timely. He delivered. That three he hit in the corner. There were some big threes that they hit tonight that were really challenged that you couldn't have defended much better, and they still made them, and that's kind of how you win on the road.
Yep, those players were big. Murray, Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and so was Jonas Valanciunas
He was.
off the bench. He was a significant contributor tonight for Denver. Let's bring you into the podium now and get post-game reaction from Minnesota head coach Chris Finch.
Obviously, in the fourth, we just they made a couple threes, stretch the league. We just really didn't have a response to that. So.
And then defensively, did you see? I know it felt like it started off a little bit slow, but it felt like they kicked in there. What were the ups and downs that you saw in this one?
Well, it's transition in the first quarter. I think they had 11 points transition in the first quarter. Running out of the zone, we missed some shots there. Kind of fed their break. No points in transition in the second quarter, so it kind of got them calmed down. And then, I just thought, offensively we didn't play a very clean game. I thought that was really the big difference in the game. So.
What did you think of your decision making on it?
It was not very good, yeah. So.
Do you think some of that has to do with just playing a kind of an uptick in quality over a period of time? I mean, they've been playing more quality teams than you have the last 2 weeks, and just being
all I can do is play the team that's in front of me.
I know, but
yeah, so
no factor there.
No.
Well, what made it more difficult for Ant to get going tonight against their blitzing?
Yeah, I mean, it's having the gaps, being super directional, throwing the ball in some situations. I thought, we've handled that a little bit better than we did tonight. So
overall, last couple of games, you involved Rudy really heavily or really well on the offensive end of the floor. Didn't seem to have the stats in front of us, but it didn't seem as much tonight. Just how important is it to the overall health of the offense to have him in a rhythm or involve him more, especially against better opponents?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've made it a conscious effort to find Rudy. It's not like we don't include Rudy in the offense. I mean, but I thought what got us going a little bit was with the two fours out there. Had some shot making on the floor. Nas was playing really well, so just one of those games kind of went away from Rudy a bit. Maybe if I go back and look at it, I'll say maybe should have played Rudy a bit more. I don't know, but I don't think like Rudy's absence from our offense was our offensive issues. So
Nas said last night that he felt like he was starting to find himself a little bit. I feel like he's beginning to turn a corner tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. Shot looked good. We did a good job of finding him, and he was shot ready, and it was good to see. It was a bright spot from the game.
It had been really good. Ball movement and good decision making. Why do you think that took such a dip tonight?
Yeah, I just think struggled to find easy baskets, and then just kind of made it hard. I'm saying we fought the game really. Offense didn't come easy, and to some of our guys who have been scoring well, and I think then they just got a little frustrated. So.
Frustration for the Timberwolves tonight. They dropped the second game of a back-to-back. The Nuggets win it at Target Center. More to come after this. The Nuggets topped the Timberwolves tonight at Target Center, what ended up being a rough shooting night for Anthony Edwards. Here's Ant inside the Wolves locker room.
They scored the ball. We did it.
Was there defensive lapse or communication, or what did you think it was?
They made a lot of shots. Yeah, they just made shots and we didn't. I don't know. Nothing they did. I gotta make my shots. Just that simple. Yeah, just missed a bunch of shots. Go to the gym tomorrow. Hopefully make them.
Yeah, Nas got going a little bit. Yeah, tonight. I know you said he just been talking. I'm just kind of sticking with this. Was like, is it good to see? Good to see Nas.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's why I'm pissed. he had a big game tonight and we couldn't pull it out for him. So I blame myself for this one.
What is it that you blame yourself for?
I just got to make my shots. If I make my shots, we win the game. I think we lost by 11 points, 10 points.
Was it a shot selection?
Anthony Edwards, honest as always. He kept it pretty simple, though, Tom. He said they made their shots. We didn't. He was hard on himself. What did you think of Ant's shot selection tonight?
Well, I didn't think it was bad. I thought there were a few settles, but not very many. I think what he'll see when he watches the film is he'll see, yes, they were heavy gap when he was bringing it up and they could load the defense, but there were other times that he could push it a little bit, and he doesn't love to push it early in the middle of the floor. He likes to probe it, see it, let it react, but he'll see there were a few more times he could have got to the basket, because when he did get to the basket, especially at the end of the third and times like that, he could get anything he wanted. And I think he'll see when he watches the film there was a little bit more of that, but I think he'll also see he can be a little bit more on balance with his shooting. He'll correct that. That's not an issue. They've just got to continue. I think Chris Finch said it early. Transition defense. I mean, they've got to continue to build transition defense. They've got to get better there. They spot teams too many points that way. And that's on everybody. So those are all things that can be corrected.
And then you have a team like Denver and a player like Jokic who is always looking for the outlet pass. So transition defense, a factor tonight. Not a great shooting night for the Wolves, a factor as well. It all led to a Denver Nuggets win, 123-112. Here at Target Center. This homestand continues for the Timberwolves on Monday against Dallas, Wednesday against the Washington Wizards, then Friday back on the road in Phoenix against the Suns. So let's look at the Mavericks, who are 3-10 this season. Dallas has lost 3 straight and 7 of 8, and Dallas will be coming in here on the back end of a back-to-back, playing against Portland tomorrow night at home.
Well, Dallas,
Mavericks are struggling a little bit.
Well, they are, and they're definitely, I mean, they've got Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving out, everybody knows that, but they've also been playing without Derek Lively Jr., who just came back last night, so I don't know if he'll be on a minutes restriction in a back-to-back, but they're getting their front line back a little bit more, but they have not been shooting the ball well, which means it's a hustle game. Are they going to get the defensive rebounds in Minnesota? Can Dallas feel like they can get out in transition and get easy baskets, even when their jumpers aren't going? This game will be more about how Minnesota responds. Do they come out, clean some things up, make sure their transition defense is good, and then another big area is just continue to find different sides to attack when people load up, and it's basically a shell defense. When you load up where there's 2 people out in front or a line of 3, and they try to make it hard on Anthony to get down the lane early in the game. Can they keep moving the ball?
Seems like you know a lot about the Dallas Mavericks, Tom.
I do have a strong interest.
Why would that be?
Well, my son is the head video coordinator and part of that staff, so I'll get to see him on Monday night. But Riley, my son, 26 years old, takes after his mother. But the bottom line is I watch a lot of Dallas games, so I have a vested interest in watching them because of him.
And we'll look forward to all of that insight that Riley gives you.
He won't talk to me now.
We'll hear it all on the pregame show on Monday night before the Timberwolves host the Dallas Mavericks. That's the next time Minnesota will be in action right back here at Target Center. It'll be the Wolves and the Mavericks with a 6:30 pregame show. Tip-off just after 7 o'clock from Target Center. Tonight, it's the Nuggets win over the Timberwolves. Have a good Sunday. We'll see you back here on Monday.